didn't have a mix. Didn't have it was always mix.
Yeah.
Welcome to the U.K.E-Liquid Mixing Show. It is a Wednesday night and it's time to talk a little bit of mixing. So I can't say we'll do a bit of mixing because most of the time we don't, but we talk about it. We talk a good show.
Somebody's going to do a little bit of mixing tonight.
we talk a good show. A good shoe. We talk a good shoe.
Yeah.
So yes. So we're going to have a little talk about mixing and maybe do a little bit of mixing. We'll see. So we've got a full cast. So you've got myself, Benny Vapes. You've got the one and only the chair, which is Bill.
Beep.
We have got our own mixing guru, which is Graham Net Reality, back from Vampire Nights. We have got our own mixing detective, which is Liam Sherlock Holmes. And we've also got our mixing maestro, which is Advocate for Liberty, Tim. So welcome one and all. So if you are in chat, just have a look at the top. Make sure you're in live chat and not in twat chat. If you are in twat chat, swap them over. Swap them over now.
Run around.
Can we change Tim from the mixing maestro to the cult leader?
Cult leader, yeah. It's a bit of a cult.
Our cult leader, Tim.
Oh, dear. Right. I get everything up now so I can see everybody. We can see everybody. So what we'll do is we will get Liam to go through chat, if you would, please.
Yep, in chat tonight we have Trev Lyon, Stuart Dill, Stuart Valentine, Me Duck.
Oh, I hate that duck.
Rocky Tooney, Vapor Bunny, Graham, spelt the odd way,
Yeah,
me,
very odd.
Lady Liberty, and Above the Clouds.
Welcome, Above the Cloud. Welcome, Ian. Welcome. He's working at Dispergo, so he's trying to get a little bit of tips and tricks.
You get Vapor Bunny?
Buddy?
Yeah,
all
I
right?
said Vapor Bunny, and Ole Christensen has just popped in.
Welcome.
But I didn't hear any bunny thing play when,
I ain't got a
I
bunny
heard
thing to
duck
play.
thing. I thought whenever it was an animal, we had something to play. I didn't-
No, well, basically what it is it was a puppet. You know, these puppeteers. So he had Orville, and his counterpart to that were a monkey. And he always used to go, I ate that duck, like that. And so that's where...
So he thought the monkey was a duck?
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman. Oh, man. He's on one. Bill's on one tonight. He's on form. Top form.
Liam!
So what we'll do is we will get... we'll go around and do a little bit of a buffet and see what everybody's vape machine is. We will start with Bill. Seems to be a bit cheeky.
That's the duck says he's special. He's got to have some attention. Give it to me. Oh, wait a second. That's I'm on the Arbiter 2, oddly enough, on the double barrel. Before I had to figure out something to put, I wonder if I'm nuts in. And so I stuck it in that to see if it's worthy of an Arbiter. So it has to start in the Arbiter 2. If it's good, then it's worthy of an Arbiter. Then the next Arbiter that comes open, it can move into that slot.
Upgraded.
Yeah. I also have the Arbiter with VST on the GUR, which is just imagine that. And believe it or not, I have another Arbiter on the Evil Dildo with Van Van Cust in it. And I will lightly toss it over to Graham because he's
Fragile.
doesn't catch well.
Fragile.
Yeah, I'm on the Kreml 2 with the custom Asia skin on the Legend, and in that I've got right, you won't be able to see that. That's the Mango Unchained.
All right, yeah.
Got it from DIYflavorchasers.co.uk. Just something I have to forget that in. And I made it's 5 days steep, and I keep on vaping it, and it's better on the 5th day. It really does make a difference. It's really nice. It's mango and a little bit of ice cream at the end to smooth things off. I'm on the Gaia with the Barrage, and in that I've got my own mana, which I've got the label upside down, so I know
a
it's mine.
mana. You got to say it's a mana.
Yeah.
You got to say it's a mana. 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 You got to say it's a
And I'm on the Aspire Speeder with the blank on top. And in that, I've got some MLS2. Tastes nice. Can't find the recipe. I tried to match the date up as well. I thought, right, made it on the 12th of February. So I went down everything for the 12th of February. Nothing for the 12th of February. And I was like, well, I've probably been lazy printing the label out and just labeled it and printed it. And there's nothing like that near any of it. So I've got no idea.
Was this like a mossy tree bark kind of day that you did that?
A mossy tree bark kind of day. No, it wouldn't have been actually.
No, actually.
Just totally disorganized.
Oh.
And I'll pass it on to Tim because he looks distracted.
I'm starting my mix just for you. No. I've got old blueberry cake ode to glass in here in the Pyro V3 on the Aegis Legend with the custom Aegis skin from our good friend. And then I got the H cigar with the barrage on top. And in that I have the peanut butter banana cream in there. And then I have the huge stack tube, the Chubby Able stack with the Elite V2 on top. And then I got the Raspberry lemonade that we've went through a lot of lately. And then, of course, I have the Island Cake in the Steam Rabbit Squonker with the Yup RDA on top. And that would be me. So let's see. Who do we got left? Just Liam? Liam, sir.
Tonight I am on the... See, I missed last week and I'm just completely screwed up now. Tonight I am on the V-Stick in 530 with the Profile 1.5. And in that I am on It's Golden, which is 6 months steeped. So it's golden sponge cake with custard. And I also have the Voopoo X217 with the Steam Crave Aromamizer V2 on top in RDA. And in that I am vaping on some Sinister, which is an apple pie-ish sort of mix. With
Why
custard.
Sinister?
Because it's apple pie-ish.
I just wanted to name something.
Sinister apple pie.
See, I name it apple pie. I get people saying, why have you named it apple pie? I name it something, what's a good name? And why have you named it that?
Yeah.
From now on, I'm just
some
gonna,
bloody sense, that's why.
I'm just going to do mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 4, mix 5 from now on.
So you should call it MLS2.
Because his nana Sinister on his mom's side, their last name was Sinister, used to make apple pies that he liked when he was a young boy.
There you go, that's it, yeah.
I will
That's
pass
the
it
one.
over to Benny.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bob Holmes, too slow, you're all right, mate. Chasing Clouds, welcome. Richard Young, welcome. Richard Young's done a lot of mixing. He just said there, he says, retried a Duflux Clapton build tonight. Probably messed up with cotton, but the previous single earning was better. 1,320 mil of mixing.
That's a lot.
Same flavor.
That's
a
a lot.
went for 1,500. Get some nice even number there, you know.
Chasing Clouds, she's not on all the time, Ink Tam. She comes on every now and again. Unfortunately, I know you like Tam, but she's not on all the time because, but she's on now and again. So stick with her; she will be back. So I'm on the Aegis Max with the Arbiter 2 on top, and inside that I've got some Dinky Donuts vanilla custard, and also on the Arbiter Solo with the Aegis Solo, and inside that I've just got some RY4 mix that I did myself. That's it. Because you sent a message, didn't you? Said that they've got IY Horde back in stock at Chef's. And I'm not bothering. I've got 1-on-1 tobacco base and some vanilla extra. That's it.
Rocky Tooney's done something unusual. He's using milk and honey in a recipe tonight.
Never. No, he wouldn't do that.
It's got caramel. He's just said it's got caramel.
But actually, if this doesn't taste right or if it's not wicked right, it's Chasing Clouds and Flavor Reviews' fault. Because before I wicked it up again this time, I watched Chasing Clouds and Flavor Reviews. He did the wicking of the Arbiter 2, And so I wicked it the way he did. So if there's any problem with this tonight, you people know it's because I watched his video and wicked it that way. But so far, it's working really good.
That's the way I do. Watch people's thing. I haven't put mine out yet because I'm just a lazy fucker. that's my reason.
He cuts at like angles off the side of the deck. He doesn't like go up against the bottom of the deck and cut his cotton this way. He gets his scissors at an angle off the side of the deck and then cuts his cotton out.
That's the way I do it for the
an angle.
So what I do is I cut it like a little V, and then I sit it on the top of the juice holes. Just don't tuck it in, but just sort of sit it on the top, and it works absolutely fantastic then. So instead of sticking it in the holes, the Dan method basically, just sort of tease it onto the top and just leave it, thin it out, leave it on the top, and then if you get a dry hit, just lift it up, just take it off, turn it upside down, lift it up, and pull it out a little bit more.
He also juices it before he tucks it.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
So it's all sticking straight out like this, and then he gets it wet, and it droops down like a. Well, I won't say that, but anyhow.
Well, what you're doing then is you're soaking up it all in here. Scuba. So if anybody's got any questions in chat, do put them in. Don't forget, any questions you would like answering, we will answer them. Keep them sensible. Keep them, semi non-rude.
Not billish.
Get off your shit. So we've been round, we've seen everybody, what we're going to talk about. I've just thought that what you got there? Nut muffin.
Nut muffin.
Nut
there
muffin.
He is.
So as you might have seen on the beginning of the show, that I spelled show wrong because I did it this morning really, really quick. So it's not a typing mistake. It's just a shoe. The shoe is on the other foot. I just thought that there's a load of new flavours. Just while we're on, chefs have got wonder flavours in. You can get all the flavours for £25, the new flavours. So they're doing the full lot for £25 over at Chefs. Do you get free? It's £30 free delivery in it with Chefs.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so do go over there and have a look if you have after the new wonder flavours. Also, if you are fancying some one-shots, do go over to DIY Flavour Chaser UK and get all your one-shot needs from all the DIY mixers from around the world for the cheap price of $9.99 for 200ml.
People wants to know what price makes an RTA high-end. I would say once you get over 50.
I'd say more than what I got in my wallet, so like 20 pence.
So what price makes an RTA high end? I would have said when it's up in the £100.
Well, no, I don't know that 75 for an RTA is still pretty steep. But I don't know whether or not it doesn't make it high end. It just makes it high end cost. Yes. Price doesn't make it anything. Price just makes it expensive. It doesn't. There's a lot of shit that's not high end that they charge exorbitant amounts of money for.
Yeah, but you're talking, usually you call it high end when it's up in the hundreds in it. Do you know what I mean? 80 to 100 I'd call an high end.
Yeah. To
be fair. But what I don't get is talking about that is a lot of them are made in the same places. If you get a Chinese one, they're all sort of made in China. What makes them?
Think of the SQ now that's been made in China.
Yeah.
Now it's actually made same places like a lot of the other stuff, like the profile.
Yeah.
All made in the same company.
So 140 is iron cost. Yeah, 140 is. Yeah, I'd say 140.
140 is idiot cost. If anybody pays 140 for an RTA, they're an idiot. It's basically.
But I do, like I say, I do think that is whatever you can afford to pay is what you pay in it. Do you know what I mean? What's my 140 might be someone else's exorbitant money.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But what I don't get is how they can charge for, say, like an Albert 2's 30 quid and then other ones 140. I understand that they make them in small batches and it costs them more. but does that make them high end?
No, I mean, the thing that it comes down to, it's like just because you make something a limited edition, because you didn't make many of them, if they're crap, they're still crap. I mean, I guess when I think high end, I think something that's crafted, well crafted, precision crafted, well put together, so on and so forth. And so that is high end. Something that you put together that's a total piece of crap that you charge $200 for is just a piece of shit. That's an expensive piece of shit, but still a piece of shit.
Yeah. I agree with Bill.
Elton Duck saying he spent £80 on RTAs. His quality isn't bang on the point. Spent 186 on the Voltrove.
Damn.
Jason Klaus is saying mid-range is 45 to 70, high-end is 75 to 160. Higher end is 165 to 350. Well, I won't fucking bear that. So we have got a couple of questions there. Stuart's saying, has anyone done any fruit and tea recipes? Lipton's iced tea.
No.
I tried a tea once and then I just gave up and realised I don't drink that kind of tea, so I decided why do
I don't like tea, so I've never even attempted it.
No, I mean, if you wanted to do something like that, I think Tam might have a peach tea recipe on her ELR.
Do you want to have a look?
But if you wanted to do something like that, I would go for. I'd start off with either one of the flavours, Southern Sweet Tea, or the TFA Sweet Tea. So because that's more like the iced tea sort of profile. It's not. I don't think it's quite the black tea that we have, like Earl Grey.
I can't answer because if I do, Bill's gonna start the countdown.
It's all right. I mean, we're 19 minutes in. Say it and get it out of the way. And somebody out there's got 19 minutes. They're going to win.
Good teas. He's got a long list of teas. Some are already pre-made. You can make them a little bit more your own, and some aren't. Like you can take a citrus tea and make it into anything.
Who's got it?
It's good. I like his teas.
Who's teas?
And I am like
Who's
Liam.
teas?
I don't like a lot of teas in my
What are we talking about?
Who's teas?
VSO.
Colts.
Oh, there we go. Who had
Colts.
19 minutes?
This is your intervention.
Yes, Tim.
Your forfeit.
I'll do the intervention thing just fine. That's fine. But that means that Bill gets to deal with his issue too.
No, I'm not.
But now you've got to mix a recipe. Not using VSO.
I am right now.
And it's got to be an American classic.
This is kind of a travel vacation classic, but yeah.
Also, Leo Barry says, what sesame flavourings are staples for any of you? What's that donut one that were quite nice from sesame?
Well, I've just pulled a few out the drawer. I like the avocado.
That's what
Avocado is
Graham just
spot on
said, who
avocado.
spells his name correctly also.
The other ones is, mentioned it last week, vanilla crescents is a really, really nice one. It's like a vanilla biscuit, very light vanilla biscuit with a frosting or powdered sugar on. Absinthe is really good. It's one of the best absinthes, I think, out there. And apricot. But used really, really low. I can't remember. I think it's under 0.5. Otherwise, it will take over the mix. But that is a fantastic apricot. Those are the four I would recommend.
I also try them. Like I say, there's that sesame. Was it donut that we had?
Yeah, but
Quite
if
nice.
you actually go to their website, you can get eel and oyster and all sorts
Really?
of that. Yeah.
Might have to get some of that. Not.
I
I might get that on next. I might actually get that on next mystery box, mightn't I?
It'll go really well with that beef.
Yeah.
Wait a month, you'll get some of the new Wonder Flavors things thrown in here that aren't
Yeah.
good.
Jason Klaus is saying SSA black tea and FE lemon. Scuba said did have a great patch tea vape back in the day. a peach tea even.
Yeah, I found an Arnold Palmer from Sam Thierston. I am Sam. I've just dropped into chat.
Bob Ohms Too Low says, I have a few tea liquids I make. I love them. Yeah.
Hip Hop Company MG, good evening.
There's Tam.
Tam,
Oh, Tam.
good evening. Good evening.
Stay hip hop in my chat. Have I got the chat wrong?
And Zippy.
Tam and Zippy.
Hey Tam,
Hey, Tam.
hi Zippy.
I'm mixing the strawberry you've been recommending. I'm mixing it right now. So
The good old VSA cult, exactly, they're cult. Zippy saying it's quite a good sesame flavours. Bob says he recently got 1-on-1 sweet tea. It's a good one. I'm in his 11th best customer.
Who's the 11th best customer?
I have no idea, but it's someone.
I think he's talking about Swaggy. I'm not sure. But
Oh, right.
I liked it the other night, by the way, Benny, while we have Tam and Zippy in here. The other night on your show on NUVS, you were talking about Sherlock Holmes. He was talking about DIY flavor taster U.K.E-liquid, and he was naming off the people who had stuff there. And he named off a bunch of people and left off Tam and Zippy, who were the two that was in his chat at the time he was naming
Liam
the
wasn't
show.
here. He gave him credit.
I'm off top of my head. Jesus, correct. I don't get paid for this shit. Oh, well, let's talk about that. Mugler Vape says, wow, Arnold Palmer, first replica I've seen in a long time that doesn't have a single flavour for. Have you popped it up? Did you pop?
No, I will.
What is an Arnold Palmer?
I like my tea with a wee bit of, and then I think he's wanting to say milk and honey because it's Rocky Tooney.
I'll call. Yep, I got that. I can share screen on it now. I was having a look to see if I could see any more on there. So this is Arnaldo Palmero. So it's citrus drink, 5 fruits by Wonder Flavours at 1.5%. Wonder Flavours Southern Sweet Tea at 5%. Wonder Flavours Summertime Lemonade at 4%. And 0.5% of Wonder Flavours Stevia Sweetener. I don't believe they've actually got the Stevia Sweetener anymore, but they do have another sweetener. But I'm pretty certain you could just sub that for any sweetener that you've got. Looks like a really nice recipe, and Sam does know his stuff. So if it's the sort of profile you're going for, give it a mix.
Do they actually taste the tea? Does this Southern Sweet Tea taste the tea?
Yeah, it's not like you made a black tea and then let it go cold. It has got a slight. There is that tea taste to it.
No, I'm out.
But
I'm out. I'm gone. Forget it. I'm out.
But it's a very sweet tea. It's like
the lemonade in a regular Arnold Palmer kind of pretty much pushes the tea way down. Anyhow,
way down.
If you've ever drank that, when you go to golf courses, a lot of golf courses sell Arnold Palmer because Arnold Palmer was a golfer, and basically that's what he drank was a tea lemonade mixture, and so he ended up. The company that he had ended up starting to produce what they called an Arnold Palmer, and
there you
they
go.
started selling it.
It's stevia. You said you wanted no stevia. There you go. It's still around.
Stevia, not stevia.
Well, whichever you want to call it. It's there. They have it.
Well, you got to do is get some sweetener and put it in a VG if you're going to do stevia, aren't you? Really?
I like the sugar better. I like VSO sugar better than I like stevia.
Oh, the sweet.
Yeah, it's sugar, right?
No, the sweet is still made with stevia. It's just a different extraction method, and it's based on it. I think it does have other sweeteners in it.
Bob's saying he's not a fan of Wonder Flavour sweet tea. Like I say, I've not done. You've heard me say this before. I don't like coffee and I don't like tea, so I just stick away from everyone. Hip Hop, you all right, buddy? Hope everything's going down well because you're on Ramadan.
That one, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that right in the front here. But even that has a little bit of stevia taste to it. A stevia.
It's sugary tasting. On the knuckle.
Jason Klaus is saying, I'm telling you, SSA black tea for Snapple flavour, but definitely not sweet tea. What's Snapple?
Snapple? That's like
It's a
pre-made
drink.
tea that you get used to be in glass bottles. Now they come in plastic bottles here in the U.S. You get all kinds of them like peach tea, Snapple peach tea, Snapple. I mean, the whole variety of different teas and lemonades.
Right. Like I say, I'm not a tea drinker, so I won't know.
They used to sponsor the American Apprentice.
Who did? Snapple?
Yeah.
I should like American Apprentice.
Not Strapple, Snapple.
Well, I hope it gets a bit better, because I hope it gets a bit easier, should I say, because you're only on first week. Hip Hop's on fasting at the moment, because it's Ramadan in it, so which is a month long. It was only into Wednesday. It only started. Did it start Monday? It's only saying it's hard this time. Zip it. See you in a bit. Yeah, it's Bob saying you've got to use it pretty high, 5 to 6%. The Welch is great with stevia, works well in Format Live's Gruber great recipe. And Bob likes the TPA one. So someone asked you if you've got grey in your beard or you've just painted it.
No, I've got grey in my beard.
Actually, don't let him lie. He had some custard earlier. It got stuck in there. He just left it.
Yeah, Greg, yeah, exactly. A Yorkshireman that don't like tea. Yeah. I'm sacrilege. I'm on the outskirts of Yorkshire now. I'm pushed out.
You're no longer allowed to town meetings? I got it.
Yeah, I'm no longer allowed. So, do you know, right, the funniest thing is, when I go into someone's house or all like that, and they all say, do you want to drink a tea, coffee? I'm like, no, I'm all right, thank you, I don't drink it. Do you want coffee? No, I don't drink that either. I get asked, am I a Mormon?
Well, are you?
You got to get this on video.
I'm like, what the fuck's that got to do with not liking tea or coffee? Am I a Mormon? What the fuck's that got to do with it?
Maybe they thought it was a caffeine thing.
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't understand what it's got to do with it. Stuart Dill, what's the best one-shot tobacco? If you're after a net tobacco hybrid, I would definitely go for Macca's RY4. It's one of my favourites, is that. Definitely if you're after that. If not, go try RY Ho. If you don't want to spend as much of that, because I think it's about £12 is Macca's, and Chef's RY Ho is probably about £9.
What kind of one-shot tobacco do you have on your site, Mr. Ohms?
Yes, do you have any tobacco vapes?
Yes, I have Tam's Cookie Chow.
That's right.
Try some Tam's Cookie Chow.
Tam's Cookie Chow, there you go, yeah.
Yes. I've heard great things about it. I'm not an RY4 fan, but I know a lot of people who have swore that is the cookie chow that she has. That's a one shot is really, really good.
I vaped it last Christmas before, all over Christmas and New Year. That was my all-day vape.
So give that a shot. Yeah.
So there you go, Graham. I made you a recipe. Now you got to mix it. Now you got to mix it too.
Moglovitch saying Tam's Cookie Chow is awesome. I'll have to order some of that and try it out.
Well, I've only got that much PG left.
You've got fucking massive stock upstairs.
Yeah, but he can't dip into that because then the owner of the company will get him for theft.
Yeah. Owner of the company, I heard he's a real prick.
Bloody slave driver.
I would definitely try that, Liam, at the end of the month. I will get some.
Man, I'm telling you, Liam's boss.
Hip Hop saying I've had less than 10 cups of tea my whole life. Don't do tea or coffee even now, no. And I've got to, instead of saying because I can't have caffeine. And I've got to hand in my Yorkshire membership, apparently.
I can drink coffee. I can drink tea. I like hot tea better. My wife makes sweet tea almost every holiday that we have. She makes 2 big pitchers. But when I'm talking sweet, I'm talking like excessively freaking sweet. You know, it's like you're taking a pitcher, which is like a gallon jug, and she's putting in a full, say, 10-ounce cup of sugar in each one.
So in other words, you have sweet, then tea. There's no tea.
I
Then
said
Yeah, but you
it
don't
is-
even have a kettle, do you, in America? I don't get that. Why do you not
We
have a
don't
fucking
do
kettle?
kettles. You don't
I
need
They don't have a kettle.
They don't have kettles in America.
It's because of the voltage.
Backwards.
They're on
backwards.
They're on 120 volt, whereas we're on 240 volts. So a kettle actually takes a lot longer to boil than ours does.
Well, actually,
Well, that's
what she
got- that's
does,
the electric plug-in ones.
what she does is she takes a big metal pot and puts water in it, and then puts the tea in that pot, and then puts it on the stove, and then boils it for a while. And then she dips the tea stuff out of it, and then she takes it and pours it into the pitchers.
No,
in with
you
the
boil
sugar.
the water, then put the tea in.
Well,
Hey,
no,
at
she
least-
boils it all in at the same time, so it extracts all of the shit out of there. If you wait and put the tea in later, it doesn't work. You know, it's like when you're putting it in the microwave. You put the tea bag in the cup, in the water, in the microwave.
No,
and then
sack-
you plug it
oh
in.
man! Even I can make cup of tea. I don't fucking like it.
Never microwave tea.
Don't be telling me
Oh,
about tea,
God.
Mindy. You don't even drink it.
I can make it. I can make the optimum thing, which is about 2.8 seconds, 2 minutes and 8 seconds or something that you leave your tea
1
bag
minute.
in.
1 minute in the microwave, and you got
Oh, you've just nuked everything. Fucking hell.
it. You can't tell the difference. It's just heating the water up. That's all it's doing. Same thing.
Oh.
I
Just
haven't got
because
any
Bill's
flavor.
nuts tend to glow doesn't mean anything, okay, guys? They glow in the dark.
They aren't. They're smooth, and they're becoming creamy right now too. I'll tell you what, it's taking a little bit of time, but that condensed milk is starting to kick in.
Richard Young stopped drinking tea when he had to drop sugar.
No, I couldn't. If I had to drop sugar, then I'd just start playing Russian roulette.
And if there's a thing for you, Liam, from hip hop.
Here's hip hop. I've sorted on that front at the moment, though.
So anyway, getting back on top, we've gone off on a bit of a rant about tea and thing, and that's
Right.
not British, no. So what the title of the show was Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, which is, if you don't know, it was a TV series. But what I thought was, obviously, Wonder Flavours have brought all these 16 flavours out. One-on-one, bring them all out. VSO, bring them all out. What happens to the older flavours? Do people still use your older flavours? Like, you know, you compare, like, I've got this, it's a donut, and I'm sure it's, you know, it's not the best of thing, but I can't mind it. It's cheap.
Oh, remember this flavour? Nobody uses anymore. Or doesn't
No,
seem to.
marshmallow vanilla.
Marshmallow vanilla, that's what I'm saying. What
Yeah,
happens to all these flavours that we suddenly say, they're fantastic, but what happens to the really older flavours? Do people still use them?
Well, it's like
Yeah.
this one, Philadelphia
Yeah.
butter cake. You know, it was like, oh my God, this is fantastic and everything. And now, you know, it's still being used. It's just not new. I think a lot of the stuff still, it's not new. So it's not talked about a ton of times. But if you watch mixing shows and watch people put stuff together, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so will go in this and so-and-so. There's tons of flavors. So they're not all going to, I mean, not that many of them are going to get mentioned. There's thousands and thousands.
No, I get that. Scott Morrison, you all right, mate? I get that. What I get is, like say, they all say, oh, put this in. But we had e-liquids that tasted fantastic when we just had Capella and TPA.
Yeah.
Or TFA.
Yeah, I think what happens is everybody jumps on the shiny and new train,
Yeah.
and you get told by all of the reviewers, or the vast majority of reviewers, that this is an absolutely fantastic, incredible flavor. You need to buy it. You need to buy it.
Mhm.
And people will pick it up and they'll go, yeah, it tastes nice, but it doesn't taste as good as the one I was using.
Yeah.
Or there'll be another release. It's like you'll find somebody will come out with a really good gingerbread, and then every other manufacturer will then jump on gingerbread and try and bring out their own version. And if you've hit upon a flavor that's suited really well for your palate, like me, if I find a flavor I really like, I just stop looking. Mm-hmm. It's like I use Vaporing croissant a lot because I really like that flavor. It suits my palate, and for me, it's a really authentic flavor. So when somebody comes out with a croissant, no matter how good anybody says it's going to be, I generally don't try it. So I'll use the older flavor. And I think that's what happens. People will jump on the new flavors and they'll get a small selection of those new flavors that might be really good for their palate, and they'll use those. But then the rest of the release just sits in the background. The rest of the release then just goes by the wayside. And
there's a few that I still feel like need developing, certain flavors that, like, honestly, they could still work on banana a little bit. Still could use a better
banana.
I mean, there's some decent bananas, but there's nothing that.
So how about the new Wonder Flavors banana? The right banana. It mixed with,
but it doesn't work for everyone. That's just
no. But like I said, hardware is the same. I mean, you had mods, you had 21700 mods, you had RTAs and RDAs and whatever coming out, and then somebody comes out with another one, and you get all the reviews, and it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing going. And then that's the reason. Hence, we've got 40 or 50 damn mods, because you were buying something that you thought, oh, this is going to be. But I think what ends up happening is you get to that point to where, like Liam was saying, you find what you like. Like I like the GUR, and I've had it for a long while now. And it's the same with anything, though. I mean, it's not just stuff in the vaping community. It's, a new car comes out, somebody's looking, there's a whatever. And flavors are no different,
Graham's putting like vanilla V1. Because the V1, we know why we don't recommend that, because obviously it's called diacetyl and diacetyl. Do you know what I mean? Good. It's good. That's because it is. Well, that's what I'm saying. We you watch mixing shows now, and we all do it. We all talk about the new flavors, but the older flavors sort of get pushed at back. And even e-liquid companies use the newer flavors. You can tell when they've used a newer flavor when they suddenly bring out a recipe, and you're like, oh, they've just released that then, and we know that's fucking going to be in that. Do you know what I mean? And you just think, what is... Do we go back to or do we revisit older flavours at some point? So newer mixers, because a lot of older ones, you pushed a bit higher, you had to put them higher to get more flavour out of them. Do we go back to them and say, look, try these?
Yeah, because the older flavours are still usable, and they do still work well. I mean, I've recently discovered Capella funnel cake, which that is an old flavour, but I'd never tried it before. I picked it up and I really like it. So I'm actually throwing it in mixes because it works well for what I want in that mix. So it's definitely worthwhile visiting older flavours. Just because they're old doesn't mean to say that they're not good.
No, Zippy did that a couple times. Had us mix stuff with some of the older flavors, and it was nice because they're overlooked. It's like, oh, we got a new one that comes out, and then you try the older ones. Like, I'm not sure the new one's better. I mean, it's different, but similar, and it depends on what you're shooting for in your recipe.
Well, for me, was it TPA? Is it blackberry? That's my favorite blackberry. I've tried all the other blackberries. I still go back to TPA's blackberry.
Unless something's a new release, I can't tell you what's an old flavor and what's a new flavor. So, I mean, whenever I'm going through the order stuff, I'm like, what's the best whatever? And I'll get like 6 or 8 recommendations. And I'll be like, all right, I'll try this one. And
I got the funnel cake because
I don't know. I might be
a
getting
few hundred times.
Well, the older flavors is like, say, when we first started. When I first started mixing, you couldn't get 1-on-1. You couldn't get Vape Train. Yeah. You got Capella, Flavor West. You got TFA.
And I've
Loran's were another one that popped up. But you don't see a lot of people talk about Loran's stuff now. I know that obviously some of them you couldn't use, but there's some of them, like lemonade, is really, really nice. Yeah.
It's good.
But you don't hear people...
The cream cheese icing as well. does anybody still use the cream cheese icing? That used to be absolutely
Yeah,
Orange? Yes,
I
do.
still see
I
cream
still
cheese
like that
icing
one.
coming up in mixes now.
Mm. Yeah,
It's a good
say,
flavor. It's hard to
do,
replace.
I do it. I use all the new flavors. I hardly go back to the old flavors. I do look at the open me drawers. Open me drawers.
Oh God.
Chasing Clouds uses a lot of old flavours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Curiosity sells it. Take Me to Sea did ask what do I drink on a morning if you don't drink tea or coffee. I drink juice, Coke. I drink Pepsi Cherry Max at the moment.
Oh, there is one.
Can of 10 and super.
10 and super, yeah, to get me going on the morning.
Another one I go back to all the
Mix up
time
the
is,
Tropic Vacation.
Toasted
Right.
marshmallow.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Remember that?
Yeah, well, people used to put that in to give you that toasted note, didn't they?
Mhm.
You know, if you wanted, something a little bit more with a burnt sort of taste to it, everybody used that.
I was using it to toast the top of meringues.
Yeah.
When I'm doing mixes, I don't look at how old the flavouring is, whether it's a new release, whether it's an old release. It goes by, will that work in this mix? Will it do what I want it to do? Yes, it will. So it gets put into the mix. I've used TFA toasted marshmallow quite a few times in mixes, just for that toasted note, because it works well.
Yeah.
Well, how long's Capella Super Sweet been around?
Oh, ever since I've been mixing, mate.
So I use an old flavor in almost every recipe that I make.
Yeah.
Actually, right here.
I still use sugar cookie. I love
Works
sugar
good.
cookie.
Works good in vodka, right, Graham?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bud Light
Yeah.
on a morning. Yeah, not wrong with Bud Light
Yeah.
on a morning.
I use Capella sugar cookie and a lot of different
Cheese,
stuff. I
beers.
use Inawera biscuit and a lot of stuff. I use, like I said, there's a lot of those flavors that are older to me. I don't really know how old they are, but
One of the only times you'll see a new flavour taking over the old flavour is if the newer flavour is exceptional. Is if it is off the charts with how good it is compared to the old flavour, people will then start using that new one. Or if it's a unique flavour, if it's unique and it works well, then people will use that to create more unique recipes.
Well, it's like, what was it, whipped cream? It was like 1-on-1 whipped cream. Then it's now Wonder Flavors whipped cream. And the only reason why that is there's SSA's whipped cream. But the Wonder Flavors whipped cream overtook it because of the steep time. It doesn't take any time to steep.
Yeah.
You can just do it off the shake. So it's a lot of it's convenience. It's like the Capella V1 custard. If you use a Premier custard, you're just halving the steep time, and they're very, very similar.
Yeah, the best time to judge flavors, I think, are for new release is give it 4 months and see if they're still showing up in mixes. If they're still showing up in mixes in 4 months' time, then it's a good flavor and you should pick it up.
it won't do it. It's whipped marshmallow, Silverline. Why do I have 2 bottles of this shit? Who told me to buy? Somebody told me to pick this shit
That
up.
sounds like a Liam or a Graham thing.
He normally blames me for this kind of shit, and it wasn't because I haven't got it. And I wouldn't
Well, it's
recommend
Liam then,
something I
probably.
haven't got.
I have not 1 but 2 bottles of it. And I've never used it because I have no idea what to put it in.
Tam's saying that 1-on-1 became too hard to get, and Jason Cloud says he does use the older flavours still. But I just thought to myself, we got all these new flavours getting released, and we do get quite a lot of, for mixers, we're quite nice to get new flavours. But the old ones get forgotten, and I just think we just make some banging flavours.
I think just the new ones when they first come out get talked about a lot, but then as time goes on, if you go back and start watching, you'll see that a lot of those ones that were talked about, they're not really used as much, and the old ones kind of filter their way back in. It's just, it's that newness that brings out, everybody's talking about it. There's a buzz, there's a whatever else. And in some cases, like you were saying, the old flavors, sometimes it's because they start not making them anymore, or the company changes them. Inawera, from my understanding, made a lot of stuff, and then just basically changed everything. all at
Well,
one
they
time.
dropped a load of stuff. They did in a
Yeah.
way. The chocolate was fantastic, but then they dropped
Yeah.
it. They changed because they let all their, when everybody was going on about Dice on all this lot, and they
Yeah.
let their MSAs out, and they put out what they was going to do, what they were taking out, what they were going to do, and they changed the chocolate. Everybody just said it just tasted shit.
Yeah.
It tastes like rubber, apparently.
Yeah, it just went from being the best, everybody recommending it, saying it's the best chocolate out there, to
Yeah.
fucking don't bother. Do you know what I mean?
Well, like the one-on-ones are harder to get now, especially. I mean, they're harder to get. They're more expensive now. So you got that too. That's also a factor too. Some of the new flavors, like the Wonder flavors, they're reasonably priced. If you can replace a one-on-one and have it close to, or maybe better, but it's even close to the old one-on-one, why wouldn't you get the cheaper flavor that works?
Oh
just
yeah.
about as good?
Yeah.
So, but let's say, who did the VG? Was it Jungle Flavours that used to do?
One-on-one.
Real
No,
flavors.
not 111. I've got that. Real Flavours. That's it. Real Flavours. They've gone now, haven't they?
No, they're
Real.
still around.
They Real Flavors liquids are still available in Canada.
Right.
DIY e-juice, I think it is, but it's not owned by Real Flavors anymore. They actually bought the recipes.
Right.
And they're
Right.
producing
I've
them
still got
themselves.
about 6 bottles of bread pudding, VG.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going
But
to put
everybody
them on
would-
eBay, £10 each.
Yeah, but everybody were recommending the VG flavor. Get the VG ones. Get the VG ones. A lot better. And then you couldn't get the fuckers.
Yeah.
But I don't see where the VG would make. It's still depending on what flavors you put in. The VG and the PG doesn't make it, because you're still going to mix it.
And you're
with
trying to
PG.
mix it to the same level anyway.
I
One-
bought the PG bread pudding and the VG bread pudding, and they were miles apart. The VG one was just fantastic.
Is that because it were just a better carrier? Do you reckon, for the flavour, because it's thicker molecules?
No, it's supposed to be the opposite, isn't it? The
Yeah,
PG ones are-
PG is
carry
supposed
the
to be
right
flavor
notes, though.
carrier.
It might carry
Yeah.
the right notes that you want though for certain flavors. Maybe
yeah, I
that's
think
why.
because it's like the thickness, and I don't know.
But once it steeps in, everything is going to steep in at 70-30. You're still going to have a 70 VG mix, even if you
Yeah, but
started
it
with
might
it in the
actually
VG.
absorb
Still,
different flavors and release some of them.
I think that one of the main reasons for me why the VG was always recommended is because there are people that vape that have a PG intolerance. So
I'm going to come on to that, actually. That was going to be a topic as well. So we'll move on to that as well, where we can talk about that. But yeah. Go on, Liam. Go on, you were saying.
yeah,
Sorry,
so the VG flavors are really good for those, and they're really good for people that want to vape Max VG. I mean, Max VG for us, when you're mixing up a 20% recipe now, so Max VG is 80-20. Whereas if you were to sub all of those, be able to sub all of those with a VG flavor, you'd have a 100. You could have a 100% VG mix, which is great for RDAs, nice and thick. Great for countries that have really hot weather. Because
we
just
don't, so
doesn't.
we're fucked.
Yeah, it just doesn't thin. It doesn't thin out as much and just run out of tanks and everything once it hits a certain point. So I think the VG flavors were being recommended a lot because of that as well.
Benny and I have talked about this. Remember the tanks not dripping, and we get a dry hit in the middle of winter, even though your tank's full, because it just does. The tar doesn't quite make it there in time. The tar flavor.
I remember FA brought out their Pazzo line, and they in that release they did have some really nice flavors, but then you don't see people using them very often now. It's like you used to have FA King, Queen, Joker, and Jack used in a lot of recipes for maybe 2 months. And then all of a sudden, it just died right back. And they pop up in recipes every now and again, but they don't seem to be anywhere near as popular as they used to be. And I think some of that might have been because they were a bit of a unique. They were all like a bit of a unique profile. So everybody jumped on that then because it's unique, and I can finally mix this cannoli that I really like. Then they developed that cannoli, and then you can't use that FA Joker anymore because it's pretty much a cannoli on its own.
Yes.
So then you've made that cannoli recipe. You're not going to use it to develop any other recipes because you've now made the cannoli you've been chasing for a while.
Richard Young says, have you found much difference between VG and PG from different sources? Not so much the PG, I have with VG sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes a little bit, the consistency is a little bit different.
Yeah, a little
sometimes.
bit thicker.
And if you don't get the palm derived too, there's a different one, and it is still pharmaceutical grade you can get and use.
Yeah, some of them are a little bit sweeter as well.
Yep.
Nicotine, you get a lot of different. So
nicotine you can get from one end to other.
Right. So sometimes when you're mixing something and you've had a mix you've made for a long time, and all of a sudden it starts tasting a little off, you may have changed VG, you may have changed PG, you may have changed nicotine, because all those things are going in everything you're doing, and it can change up what you've got. Your mix may be really good, but the shit you're mixing it in may be really off.
You could even be using the same company, and they might have had to change their sourcing, and they might not have exactly the same chemical makeup or the same type of palm or whatever they're deriving it from. Benny, you had like several nicotines there you ordered not long ago, different ones to try. How did that work out for you, by the way? You ordered two different ones, didn't you? Like a something S and something.
Oh, you're talking to me? I didn't know you were talking.
You ain't talking to me. So.
You're talking to me. You're talking to me.
Benny, you ordered some nicotine.
I was gonna do. I actually went for, which I quite like these bottles actually, because the non-see-through. I actually went for the hybrid this time.
I go for that.
And how much of a difference did you notice?
Massive difference.
From the what is it one? Because I think I got B last time, wasn't it? With that, and it were a bit harsh. But I went for, because I quite like the Riot salts, Nick salts, and they're hybrids. So you get a little bit of a thought, and you get this benefit of the salt. So this is an hybrid 72. But I like the bottles that they're coming now, because it's
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice opaque bottle.
Yeah. So you can't see through it at all. Keeps it better, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, the different types of nicotine make a difference, but I don't think the different types of VG and PG make that much of a difference to your mix, unless it's either off or you've got a really, really sensitive palate.
Well, in the UK,
I think the biggest thing is adjustments.
Two firms which supply PG and VG right across the board. There won't be that many in the UK, so the difference will be minimum here.
Yeah.
But in America, when you've got massive states and multiple suppliers, I think you probably notice more of a difference.
Yeah, you got to remember as well, it's different weather as well. So if one state is hotter and it's not stored quite right,
that's true too.
Then that's going to affect the overall taste and quality.
The biggest thing I've noticed with trying different VGs, because I did have to switch once for a little while because mine wasn't in stock, the usual I get, is you might have to adjust your sweetener a little bit. If the sweetness of the VG can actually, like you were saying, changes quite a bit sometimes. Sometimes it's almost like it has a sweetener built in, and you don't want much, if at all.
Well, I switched to salts because I get pepper from nicotine. Doesn't matter. Every single nicotine I've had, I get pepper. Even the pure one, the stuff from Nick Hub, pepper.
Yeah.
So that pepper caramel strawberry flavor must be awesome.
Yeah. Richard Young said he got VG Nick last time, but thinking of PG is going to be easier for shaking. I do get PG straight up nicotine 72 because I prefer to mix with that. Because of that reason, that I don't like spending 3 hours trying to shake a bottle to mix it.
I got VG this time because I noticed last time I got the PG, the colour changed quicker.
Yes, it does go golden quite quick. It does go. I tell you what, do get some nibs like that for the top. Makes it so much easier for pouring your nicotine out. If you are looking to get some, put it on your bottle, keep it on your bottle, change the top and get a top that fits it, because I find it so much easier.
It is
to pour it in that. Glad
You
to be
get
all
one
right.
of these, you dip it down in your nicotine bottle, you suck it up in there, you squirt in the amount you need, you put the rest back in the bottle, put the cap on. You don't have to squirt it.
VG were just nightmare trying to get up a fucking syringe.
Oh my god.
You used to end up pulling stopper off.
That's the reason I do
Oh, that'd be fun.
PG
Funk?
nicotine, not VG nicotine. And besides that, here you freeze it a lot. And if you freeze VG nicotine, hey, God,
It's not
Yeah.
gonna thaw for a long time.
With the VG nicotine, trick to do is pop the top of the syringe off, and then stop at the end, and then just pour it into the measurement you want.
Then you might as well just get a top like that and pour it in, ain't you?
And you go like this, you're pushing it,
Well,
all
yeah,
of a
but
sudden
if-
the needle pops off, shoots to the
but
bottom
if-
of the bottle.
But if you're measuring it, if you're using syringes to mix and you use a syringe for that, then you might not have scales on hand to actually do that. So
Right, but
that's
even
the
if you
easiest way
have
of doing it.
scales, if you're pouring out of a big open bottle into something and you're trying to do nicotine, you're usually doing it. And depending on how much you're making, you're trying to hit a small little window there. And if you're
Yeah.
trying to pour out of a big, you're better off pouring it into that and then squirting it out that little, you can get it right on.
Just
Whereas
put
if
the
you're
cap
trying
on
to
the syringe
pour
and
it
leave it in
in,
the syringe. Yeah.
it's harder to hit. Yeah.
Few people, VG is very versatile, great for moisturiser. Says, take me to the seat. You can use it as lube. Moglovate saying nicotine in gorillas in the fridge, ream the nozzle out for VG Nick or takes forever, minimal air exchange. So that's quite good. What do people use for that? Do you, like Bill uses syringe. I did what Tim says, when you go like that and the fucking end falls in your nicotine and you've got to leave it there till it gets further down because you don't want to put your hand inside it to get it out. So you have to leave it there and you're like, is it going to go funny? Is it going to go funny?
Yeah.
We do too.
So you use a syringe. What do you do, Liam?
I've got my large
So
bottle. I've got my large bottle stored in my freezer, in a lockbox, so my boy can't get to it. But I take that out and decant it into a 100 ml bottle with screw cap, so I ingest, squeeze.
Yeah, see, that's what I do. I keep that small bottle. I don't keep a large one out at all times. The rest of them are all either in the fridge or freezer.
The other thing is I had a Gorilla bottle and I mixed an 80-20 instead of a 70-30 one time. And then I was trying to, which was just a full mix. I let it steep and then I'm filling my tank. Well, it's 80-20. So it comes out of the end of that Gorilla bottle just a little harder. And so you're squeezing the bottle harder. And the next thing I know, the pop tops off of it. And I got 100 ml of my juice just all over the desk, my hand, the mod, and everything else, because it doesn't want to come out of the bottle that you're trying to put it in the tank out of that well either. Yeah.
Graham says real men use syringes. Pussies use screw caps. I'd prefer it easier. That's all. Like, Rocky Jr. puts Nick in 60ml dripper bottle. Rowley says using bottles in fridge only for short term. It stays in the freezer for years. Just keep using 30ml Gorilla. TMC uses 3% premix. I've never used has anybody else used premix?
I've used it once, didn't care for it because
I
you're still doing the whole balancing act where you can't like fill it right.
I suppose if you've used neck shots, you've used premix, because that's
Technically.
same.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because you can get base, you can get a 70-30 base mix, and I always think when you get it, are you getting, if you pour it out and you want it at a 3, is it always going to be 3 milligram? Because how do you know?
Well, it'll be 3 milligram for what you're pouring out, but you got to remember whatever flavors you put in are diluting it differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be 3 milligram because the way they would have done it. I mean, a 1 liter bottle of premix with the right amount of nicotine in is 3 milligram uniform
All the way through. Yep.
all the way through, as long as you give it a good shake. 70-30, unless you're doing mouth to lung, I wouldn't advise picking up a 70-30 premix because, like Tim said, you're just diluting it down once you add your flavors.
Diluting it down, it's going to be more like a 60-40 by the time you're done. And didn't Cloud Chucker ask about the pepperiness? That's just oxidation of your nicotine.
I was just about to come on to that. Yeah, Cloud said, why does it go? It's oxidization. Usually, it's if you've left it in the sun, it'll go like that. if you've left the top off and air gets into it, it can go, and it could go peppery just because it's shit nicotine.
Yeah, cheap nicotine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, depending on
Or
where
like
you get it
letting
from.
it sit here, or on a warm day, or as your bottle gets more and more empty. That's why if you do keep a bottle like the 100 ml, like Liam and I do, if you're not using it often, top it off every once in a while. It'll keep some of the air out of it.
Yeah.
I don't top my 100 ml off. I
don't
just
either,
leave.
but we mix often. Some
I
people
just
mix
leave it
only
in the
once in a while.
fridge.
Some
When
people
mine
don't mix,
gets
like,
down near the bottom, I just drink whatever's left, and then that way I can
yeah, he drinks whatever's left, takes one of those pills, and has a great afternoon.
don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also get that. You can also get that peppery as well if you haven't quite shaken the bottle properly, and you've just had that little bit more nicotine than you're used to. That can also give you that pepperiness and harshness at the back of the throat. I was having a problem where I get one of these bottles, I put enough in to make it 3 milligram, and then I give the bottle a good shake, and then I vape because I tend to add my nicotine just before I vape. And then I vape it, and I'd have that really harsh pepperiness
Because of what was in the tip.
because of what was in the tip.
Yep.
So now I make a habit of
That's the other
unscrewing the
thing I do
lid
is
and
I'll
just
keep that
unscrewing it,
open for a
drop it
minute.
back in.
I try to hold it for a minute and keep it open because it will go back in for you more. If you don't, you'll have whatever's in that tip stays in that tip.
I put my nicotine in first.
So I put
And
mine in
then
last.
I start with my nicotine because that way my nicotine's in the bottom. Everything I put in
Dave
it
Lloyd.
mixes into that nicotine as it goes in. And when I go to shake it, it's going to mix with everything else because it's on the very bottom of the bottle rather than the top where, like you said, if you start shaking it, then it gets on that top and stays up there. So, and along with the fact that I get my nicotine out and I do it before I do anything else. And then I put my nicotine back. And then that way I don't worry about tipping the bottle over or doing this, that, or the other, or whatever else. I try to treat it very gingerly. I do it first, do it by itself, and then get it out of the way. I've got a little bit sitting in the bottle and I'm done. It takes the hazard out of it a little more also.
I grab mine last for the same reason that you grab yours first.
Yeah.
Leave it there because I don't want to knock it over till I'm all done.
The nicotine goes out, goes in, and goes straight back.
Yeah,
It's
it
in a
has
cool
to.
place.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah.
I can leave the flavorings out, but I can't leave the nicotine out. I have to put it back. It's just.
It depends how long you're going to use it, how big a bottle it is, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like a lot of people are saying that they use, 100 ml bottle and just leave. Some of them say to leave it out. If you've got a massive bottle of it, then you're going to take a bit out, are you?
I got this bottle right here. It's still half full, and I have just
Carolina
used it
extract.
right out of this bottle. I have never froze this bottle, never done anything with this bottle, but I keep it back here in a dark place, back in the back. It's a darkened bottle, and it's real good nicotine, and I have never had an off-note flavor from that whatsoever.
That's Carolina
But-
extract, though, right?
It was from Vapors Tech.
Vapors Tech?
Yeah, which
Um,
stopped shortly thereafter.
Tempted to see gets these from Delos's Labs, 3 milligram Nick, 3% VG base, keep it in the fridge. Because Liquid Bar aren't doing it anymore, apparently.
No, see, nicotine here in the States is virtually impossible to get anyhow right now. So it's a moot point when you're discussing.
Well, we
that.
can't get it. We can't get 72 Nick here either. At all. Not at all.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm aware.
Yeah, we can't buy it at all.
Like I said, I've got freezer bottle. I've got 2 in the chest freezer. And I've got 3 bottles in the chest freezer. Yeah.
I got 3 bottles total.
Yeah.
One of them's a smaller one of the VG.
But I've also I only do 2 milligram Nick. I've been doing 2 milligram Nick now for close to about 6 months, almost a year, somewhere between there. I don't know
1.5
exactly
and 2,
when I
right, Bill?
started on it, but
You go between 1.5 and 2, or just 2?
2.
She's been doing 1.5, and I went back to 3 because I was feeling stressed out when I tried.
Yeah, I dropped down to 1.5. I was on 1.5 for two, maybe 3 years,
I just
and then lockdowns hit, and they went straight back up to 3.
I have some at 3 and others at 0.
Yeah, I've been, I'm retired, so lockdown didn't change anything for me. So basically, it was probably around that time or whatever. Whenever we started having the nicotine, it looked like, okay, the sky has finally fell. I said, all right, I'm going to try dropping it down. I dropped it, and I said, it's, I don't notice any difference. I don't know whether I vape more, possibly. Maybe I pick it up more often or something. I haven't counted or done anything of that nature, but
yeah, I notice it when I don't put nicotine in.
Yep, same.
I start to get a little bit lightheaded, and everything feels a little bit swimmy after a while. After a couple of hours of vaping no nicotine, I know there isn't any nicotine in there.
But the thing about it is that has no nicotine in it.
No, because I picked up the bottle thinking it had nicotine in.
Yeah, same with me. I've done that, made some of the testers and stuff, and went vape it for a while testing it, and it's like I just kept vaping. Next thing you know, it looks like a cloud comp in the house, and I'm still not feeling good. It's like I need it. That's how I figure it out. If it starts looking like a cloud comp in the house, I grab the wrong bottle.
I think part of it is here, though. I think part of it is you're like, oh man, this isn't done any fucking. I haven't had any nicotine in 4 days.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
do you know, right?
Forget, like Liam said, I'll forget and I'll be like, and I'll just be vaping and thinking it has nicotine because I don't know the difference because I'm not paying attention to the label. And then I was like, oh, that's why I'm chain vaping today. Okay.
Do you know when I need some Nick, I get like a thing in my throat that sort of goes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No, honestly, it's like that. I'll be like that, but it's sort of working, and then suddenly it'll go. I need some nicotine. Do you know what I mean? It's like a sort of a feeling in my throat that I really need something, and I'm like,
it's fine. But if your throat's talking to you, I think you might get that checked.
Yeah, my right hand goes numb when I don't have any. It's like, oh, we gotta have some nicotine. My hand's going numb.
It's if it reaches up and starts slapping you across the face. That's when you gotta start worrying.
Nicotine, you stupid asshole.
Okay, we got to make these defining lines. At what point are we in trouble? Okay.
I like say I work from home, so I chain vape, and it's I keep on forgetting. I've gone to a serious Zoom call with one of the clients, and I'm sitting there going, picking it up, going,
yeah. But you can go. I do find you can go longer without on it, but yeah. You can go longer without any nicotine. I do find that, but I get to a point where it's like I say, I get this sort of feeling that I'm like.
Yeah, Richard Young says he gets a tight chest, and Dave Lloyd feels it in his nose.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's just weird. You just sort of get these.
There's one other thing you can test. If you have a significant other or people you hang out around, they know when you haven't had your nicotine. If you're accidentally vaping,
bear with the sore head.
They say you need something. You're crabby.
So that tells us why Rocky Tooney vapes milk and honey. He gets 2.8 nicotine and is 2.5 and everything else, and he needs that extra 0.3 nicotine.
I think Rocky does a milk and honey premix, doesn't he? Just put the nicotine in milk and honey. He'll be all right.
He makes his premix instead of throwing the nicotine in. That's the last thing he puts in, but he has his milk and honey in his premix.
Yeah.
How many mils of milk and honey do you have, Rocky Tooney? I mean,
how many have you went through in the last month as a second?
Yeah, I mean, how much do you have to keep on hand in order to make sure you don't run out? So you've got to have like a 120 mil bottle there. And when you get down to your last 120 mil bottle, you have to order 5 more or what? You know,
I don't see Michelle in here, but I'd ask the same question about her and her vanilla pudding.
Yeah, I don't think Rocky actually measures it in milliliters anymore. I think he measures it.
I think he measures it in liters.
Liters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Michelle around lately, though. But I've got the damn big bottle of vanilla pudding back there because I got a small bottle and I started using it, and then I finished it, so I had to order a big bottle, and so she owes me some money because that stuff's not cheap.
No, it's not. No. And it is good though.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, everybody seems to be sort of round about the same thing, 3 milligram though, don't they? You know, from 1.5 to 3, and then 9 up to. I say I like a 12 on a you know, like my mouth to lung, except from when I'm doing pods. And I used to could only do 10 on Nick salts, but I've started finding I do 20, and I quite enjoy 20s now. It used to make me sneeze all the time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to make me sneeze now. So I don't know if they've changed, like they say, the B and the S. And
we can transition to Graham's theory for tonight. He wanted to do the intervention. Maybe there's some basis to this. Okay.
Yeah,
I started mixing and everything. I wasn't on any actual shows every week and stuff. I was using a lot of zeros and 1.5 at most during that time. Not too much issue with it. I'm on mixing shows now. I'm up to 3 and I can't go down.
Mobile said he dropped 3 milligram to 2, and his 66-year supply turned into a 100-year supply.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used to be 18 milligram mouth to lung, and 12 direct to lung.
Stuart does 6 mg. He does a 6 mg. But yeah, he seems to be round about that sort of. You do, don't you? In direct to lung. Do you know what I mean? I like to say I like a 12 in a freebase.
Yeah, MTL I actually did like it a little bit higher. Like
I just can't do mouth to lung anymore. I just don't find it as satisfying. It just doesn't scratch that itch.
I don't.
I think it's just because of that thickness of vapor.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get the flavor. I just found myself chain vaping that thing all day long and just refilling it.
Leo Barry is saying Rocky gets as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs when his milk and honey drops when he cracks his last 120 mil.
120 mil.
Well, Chucker says he does DTL at 5 and MTL at 10. So
yeah. It says 3 and 6, and MTL. Trev Lyons on a 6.
That's where I'm at. Like 3 and usually a 6 in my MTL.
And I said, I don't really MTL much, but I do 2. And when I was doing 3, even if I did MTL, I just did 3, because I don't really, the thing is you're still getting the vapor, you're still taking it in, you're still letting it out. I didn't see where MTL or DL makes a difference. You get a bigger cloud.
I'd say I'm roughly 3, because sometimes I go a little bit over, sometimes I go a little bit under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hit it. 3. I'm going to drop mine down. I'm at 2 right now. I'll probably go down to 1.75, sometime in the near future. And then I think it's just one of those things where if you can walk it down, but a little year by year, I think you can get it down to 1 or 1.25 or something and probably handle it. But
it's like Wayne from DIY Days at 0.5, isn't he?
See, what's the point of that? 0.5, I don't.
Well, the thing is I think your body is always going to have that little bit of craving for some. And I think if you can get it down to the point to where it's the minor amount that you could possibly do, if you go to 0, then your body is definitely going to notice that it's not there. But if you can kind of wean it down a little bit until you get down to a level that you're like, okay, this may have to be it. Because if you drop it totally out, then it's got to be noticeable.
Where we've been told by someone else, hey, you're vaping a 0, aren't you?
Yeah.
As I said, I can always tell when I was on a 0 because
I could kind of tell too, but sometimes you get busy and you ignore it. Someone else will let you know.
My Duck says he moved to 6 milligram MTL quickly when he quit smoking, as Decadent Vapors used to do 40 ml short fills in a 60 ml bottle that could add 2 times 50-50 Nick shots to make a perfect 50-50 60 ml bottle of 6 milligram. Rocky Tuning was on 3, but I tend to over drip the Nick, so I dropped to 2.8 and everything now is happy accident. So, right, do you want to show his intervention recipe? He dropped it in chat.
Me to show, or you want,
whoever.
Let Graham show it, because he's the one doing the intervention. He can show that.
Mogvay said I already trained vape 3 mg, so I figured that if I dropped to 2 mg, I wouldn't vape more because I rolled a vaped as much as I physically could. And Dave Lloyd says he can't do less than 2 to 3 milligram, and he's got his first order of VSO Cult.
First order?
Yeah. Tim can take us through it because I've only got one flavour.
But
You can't.
I wanted a nice bright.
flavour.
I wanted to play with the ultimate strawberry because Tam sent it to me and it smells delicious. But I wanted a really light tropical, like it's springtime. I want to think spring thoughts. So I got a nice. So I went with a lot of bright flavors in here. Golden pineapple from Cap at 3%. Lemon lime from Cap at 2%. Super sweet from Cap, which I forgot to put in here and still good, at 0.5%. Sweet mango from Flavora at 0.75%. And ultimate strawberry from Jungle Flavors at 2%. And it is delicious.
What's ultimate strawberry? Where's that come from?
Vape this.
It's the new Jungle Flavours.
Ah, right.
Yeah. That
I
is
don't
like.
I don't even know.
strawberry is holding it all together. That's the weird part. That strawberry is kind of like it would just taste like, like drinking pineapple juice mixed with lime. That strawberry is pulling everything together.
I'd say if you drop the lime, the pineapple, and the mango out of that, it might be a decent.
So if I made it without like anything but the strawberry, Bill would be all for it.
That's about it. That's about the only one of those flavors that I could handle.
Bob says it's screaming for some WF-23 in there.
Yeah.
It might work with that. I was already thinking that.
And Dave Lloyd says he's up to 403 flavours now.
In one mix?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can help me with a question I have. Okay, so order from Nom Noms. They gave me a shipping code for Royal Mail. It doesn't work.
Tracking code.
No, not once it leaves country. That's it. You can't. You can't trace
Yeah, but
anything.
it shows up that it never existed. They can't track
Right.
it.
It won't. It won't because it's leaving country. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to figure that out because I kept.
Yeah, you can't track something from the UK because once it leaves country, it's not trackable. So whenever they start it, it's already destined to leave country. So no tracking.
Yes, Graham. I got the tiramisu.
All right.
I'll have to get some of that strawberry because everybody's saying it's. Bob's saying
really
it's
nice.
amazing
Yeah,
strawberry.
I'm not sure if it's available over here yet because I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, is that another cult? Oh, what a cult that is!
No,
then.
the Jungle Flavors
Yeah,
are
cult.
available, but I haven't seen the ultimate strawberry over here yet. It's like the new Capella flavors. Apparently, then they haven't hit the EU yet, so we can't get them in Britain.
I got a question
Can't
for
get
you.
all the
Why does this
SSAs
bottle
over here either. I had to order them from Nom Noms.
Why does this bottle say flavored jungle instead of jungle flavors?
That's a different.
It's different make.
Yeah.
Is
different
it not jungle flavors? That's flavored jungle.
No, that's Flavor
different.
Jungle.
So who the hell's flavored jungle? This is good strawberry.
Jungle,
Nom
Flavor
Noms.
Jungle. Yeah.
Nom Noms
I've got
has the
both.
ultimate strawberry in.
Okay.
Mowgli,
What else
just
they
for you.
put
I made
in
it
it?
just for you. Mowgli, I almost did that. I thought about actually seeing if I could pull up yours in my stash and see if I could make something you can actually make. Because I'm not on a roll lately.
Bob, unfortunately, VSO is a cult, and we can't get it unless we order it
Are you
from
gonna
your
start
side.
calling
Of
me
the
the
country?
cult hub if we keep getting the ones.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's saying mix it with VSO straw, and it's the only strawberry you'll ever eat.
that's
Okay.
the only reason. The only reason I didn't add the VSO strawberry too with it.
But
was
you
two
weren't
reasons.
allowed.
One, I want to test it by itself, and two was I knew you guys would complain, so I was not make it easy.
They've also got sweet strawberry cream as well.
Yeah.
Those
The
are
new
Oh,
SSAs
nice.
have like
Nice.
what was it, 2 or 3 strawberries in that the new SSA releases that I ordered off Nom Noms? Because you get the premium
Yes.
strawberry, you've got the strawberry type sweet, strawberry type ripe, and I think there's even a third one of those.
Bob, yes, he will ship it to us, but shipping is absolutely a straw.
40 quid.
It's 40 quid, mate. I'm not paying that for. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if 10 of you get together and
Which-
make your
which
orders,
show
then
does he
it's only
offer
going to
the
be 4
discount
quid
on?
a piece.
Which show does he offer the discount on?
Tim's
Is-
last night.
Yeah, 25% off on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, so 25% off. If you're doing a big order, it is worth doing.
For a 3-hour window every Tuesday.
Take Me to the Sea is saying Flavour Jungle is a company. The flavours are called Jungle Flavours.
But that is the name on the bottle is Flavored Jungle. It doesn't say Jungle Flavors.
I
Yeah,
don't believe they're the same company.
yeah. Didn't one of the like Nicotine River or something like that actually rebrand to Flavor Jungle?
I thought they did.
I don't know, but I've never ordered. Well, did I? Maybe I did from Nicotine River,
No,
but Nicotine
I
River's not.
I have
Nicotine River's
separated
not
in here, so if
Nicotine
they are
River
actually all
anymore.
flavored jungle.
No, I don't think it was Nicotine River, but I'm sure it was one of the vape supply companies in the US rebranded to Flavor Jungle, and you might have their own rebrand of a flavor.
Might, I don't know.
Yeah, the jungle
I've always
flavor.
thought it was just Jungle Flavor Strawberry Sweet. Yeah, because they're the only ones I know that does the good strawberry sweet. Yeah.
Easy
So
way to
we
do
go.
that.
Tam
the,
says it's the same.
VC site.
Oh, okay.
Using the VC site, see if they're two separate things because you wouldn't have them if they were separate companies on VC. You can't use ELR for this reason because anything can be written in there.
Yeah, ELR may call it, Bob.
Oh,
your
man.
own.
Where
I
they
can-
get their names from? I have
I
no
can
fucking
actually
idea.
put in a
from.
flavoring calls Bill's Nuts and actually put it there and have it just be a salty sweet cream.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I forgot. I need to. I'll share mine real quick before we go. I made
Ooh.
I wonder if I'm nuts.
No need to wonder on that, Bill.
Yeah.
No, we're not wondering at all. I said before that's not a debate.
Hang on a second. And basically, it's all Wonder flavors except obviously super sweet. But it's angel cake at 2.25, crumble topping at 1.25, condensed milk 0.75, nougat at 0.5, butter cake at 2.1, sugar pie at 1.25, super sweet at 0.25, and walnut at 1. And basically, right now, it is really good. And it's getting creamier every day. The nut still hasn't kicked in yet on the walnut, but that usually takes a couple of weeks, and I'm only about 3 or 4 days in. But it's basically, I'm pretty sure, going to be arbiter worthy. That's how good it is. So
Very good. Very well. We'll have to keep an eye on that one then, Bill.
Yeah, we're waiting for the next one. The results were positive. Will be the next recipe.
yeah,
The problem is though, Bill, when you turn around and say tonight I'm vaping on my my Gruss with the Arbiter 2, and I wonder if I'm nuts. People are just going to think it's a statement.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, but what are you vaping on?
but it is
I
a
wonder if I'm
statement,
nuts.
basically.
Yes, but what are you
It's a
vaping on?
statement and a recipe. That's the thing.
But if you're saying it like that, we're going to have to do that whole who's on first bit.
Yeah, I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, Liam. That's basically what it gets down to.
Bob's saying you should have used VSO Black Walnut, Bill.
Yeah, right. I should have, but I didn't. Because then it would have been, I wonder why I put VSO in a wonder if I'm nuts flavor.
Yeah. Right, so we are coming up to that time. So it's been gone quick tonight, yet again. So what we'll do is we will go around and say our goodbyes. We'll start with Tim tonight.
Okay. Well, last night was our first ever mixing show on my channel because Takeover Tuesday was canceled, and I felt like still mixing because it's going to screw up my week, and that's why Graham thinks I need that taking a vacation day. I need a intervention apparently. So it went really well, and then today with you, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing an anxiety and depression show on my channel at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturday night got to confirm, but it'll either be a game night stream if not, but it's looking like it'll be with Matt Sinister about wrestling and things behind the scenes and anxieties and depression
I like
issues.
Matt. Matt's a good guy. I like Matt.
Yep. And then Sundays, if Zippy's up to it, we'll do the Sunday show. If not, I might visit with Tam and Frank because I just love hanging out with them guys on Sunday. And I'm even getting up early for that because it's Sunday. So I wish I'd change the time to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. And then Tuesday night next week on Tuesday Takeover is the first of the month, the first show of the month. So it'll be another one where the chat, it's helping chat. It's focused on helping chat and mixing stuff from chat. If possible. If not, we'll do something of our own. That said, the Break the Stigma Unity Discord's still open. If anyone needs a place to hang out and just relax and talk things through, or talk with people that are like-minded that also are dealing with things. That said, I will pass it to Mr. Intervention himself, Net Reality.
Thanks, everyone. You can catch us over on Facebook on Monkey on Juice. If you need any help mixing, I'm always, and you can always private message me from that group, and quite happy to give you some of the time if I'm always on Facebook. Always checking, watching the notifications. But,
except for when he's gone missing for 3 days.
Making snide comments on things that you post about other people in this room.
Facebook.
Yeah.
No, I've got completely lost. Oh yeah, I'm doing the flavor of the week for vanilla. It's got to be the vanilla marshmallow. Get that out again and start using that. And my two new amatoriums are now in steeping mode. So I think it's going to be about 7 weeks because one of them needs a pretty long steep. So watch out for them. And you can catch us over on Amatorium. My short fills and DIY flavor chasers for the one shot, which is a coffee one there, which used to be my all day vape.
Yep.
And I'll pass it over to Liam so he can carry on the show.
Okay. So visit Flavor Chaser UK. You're in the UK for your one shots. We've got one shots from Net Reality as well as Creed, Waftam, Steam Pugs, Tam, Zippy, Luke Loop, David Marshall, and myself. And in Canada, you can get those from Flavor Chaser, DIYFlavorchaser.com. And if you're interested in my mixes, you can pick up Twisted Imagination from Chef's Flavors, as well as from both Flavor Chasers. You can catch
what's hold up? What's happening here? The Squirrel's doing an extra dance.
He's after my nuts.
That's a different dance.
He only used to do that one outside. Now he's doing a little.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that, Benny. You can also catch me on most of the DIY Facebook groups, including Monkey on Juice, as well as follow me on ELR, ATF, and Vaping Community. ATF is what I remember. And the Sheila Combs. And I will pass you over to Bill.
Thank you. You can catch me on the Late Night Vape Show, 10:30 UK time, 5:30 Eastern time, along with some guy named Mick, which is on right after NUVS. And with that, I will throw you down to Benny. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody in chat, for joining us tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've all been joining in. It's been really, really good. Like I say, if you have any questions or anything like that, save them for next week, or go over to Monkey on Juice and you can ask them in there. Do check out Monkey on Juice for all your mixing questions and thoughts for the show or where you want to go or not like that. Just drop them in there. Also, go over to Tim's. There's a list I've been put in there what shows he's on, and check Tim out this week if you want to talk some more mixing. Go over to Liam and do check out if you want some one shots for the DIY Flavour Chaser UK. Pick them up, $9.99. Makes you 200 mil. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Can't go wrong with that, can you? Also, don't forget to check out Amatorium. Do use Benny10 for 10% off of Amatorium. Check out his Country Fudge and the much advertised, endorsed by Grim Green. Is Glamour. Go check that out. You can see Bill on Sunday night just after NUVS, and you can see me again on Sunday night on NUVS. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all again next week. Good night.
See you guys.
Ciao.
Ciao.